Hi, everybody. My name is Pamela Wharmby, and the topic I am presenting about is a website called boardbutton.com. I used it a lot in middle school, but I haven't gone on it in like a really long time, so I don't really remember too much about it. But how it works is you click on the red button that's in that middle picture above where it says board with the question mark. And it takes you to like a ridiculous random website. And then a small version, which is the bottom right corner of the button, like stays at the very top of like your browser. And then when you get bored of the first website it takes to you, you click it again, and then so on. You just click that and it'll take you somewhere else. And there's a little blurb underneath the beginning part, which says, I'm bored. I'm so bored. I'm bored at school. I'm bored at work. I'm bored to tears. I'm bored to death. Do you find yourself saying any of the above? If so, you've reached the right website. Clicking the red button will instantly take you to one of hundreds of interactive websites, specially selected to alleviate boredom. So go ahead and give it a try. Press the board button and be bored no more. So basically, throughout this presentation, I'm going to be evaluating whether or not the board button does make you bored no more. And the website I reached after the first click I took was called thesongthatdefinesyourlife.com. And basically, you put your birthday in. Mine is April 29th, 2002. And then it generates a song that was at the top of the charts on your 14th birthday. Because apparently that's the song that defines your life. So my 14th birthday was on April 29th, 2016, which was quite a time. And the song at the top of the charts then was Work by Rihanna. I would definitely agree that Work by Rihanna is the song that defines my life. It's definitely inspiring to me, and I definitely live by the principles of that song every day. Um, and I would say that it's definitely the anthem of my life. Um, the website, The Song Defines Your Life, definitely killed my boredom a little bit. And I think that's because it was kind of fun to like find something out about myself. Because I guess we're all a little self centered. And we like to learn things about ourselves, I guess, more than others. And then the second website it took me to was called randomgoat.com. And the title is kind of self explanatory, but it basically gives you a random video of a goat or like a bunch of goats. And then when you click the screen, it shows you a different video of goats. Um, and I was on this website for a while. I kind of got sucked in and lost track of time. So I watched, I would say, at least 20 goat videos. And I would definitely classify that as a good use of my time. Um, the effective the website obviously is very effective in alleviating um, boredom. I could spend like an insane amount of time on it. It was almost like addicting. So honestly, um, I would say be careful because it was hard to like move on to the next one. The next one was called pictureofhotdog.com, and I would basically describe it as like a picture of a hot dog. That's kind of just what they keep reiterating. Like the about section just says it's a hot dog, and the testimonial section just has one testimonial that says I like the hot dog, and then it says a guy said that, which I'm sure a guy did say. Um, and then underneath the picture, the text is way too small to read it in like the left. If you see the tiny black text on the bottom, um, it basically gives you different options from like put some ketchup on it, which is probably the most basic one, to more complicated ones like make it vintage, which is the photo on the top right, which is a hot dog dressed with a mullet and a 90s jacket and a vintage paper cup, I guess. And then there is a section that's just called corn dog, which basically requests that users apologize to the corn dog for their wrongdoings to him. And the website itself isn't as entertaining, but the comment section full of apologies was very entertaining, I'd say. And I kind of compiled some of the best comments, including a comment with the entire script of the movie Shrek, and the entire script of the B movie. Um, a man named Joe commented, "It's about job. It's about power. We stay hungry. We like the TikTok sound." He posted it 30 times. So that was a lot to scroll through. And then Scott just said, "OMG, Joe, shut the blank up," because Scott was tired of it. And then somebody used the name Robert Frost to comment, "I mourn for you here in this poetic limbo of untold space, of time frozen in regret and grief." And somebody named George Washington commented the Declaration of Independence. I just put a part of it here, but he did comment the whole thing. Um, and definitely what's going on here is a very necessary conversation of remorse. Um, and conversations like these should never be boring. Um, and the next website was thispersondoesnotexist.com. And basically, it just shows you different pictures of people, and the people they show you just look make believe. Like, they're definitely bots put here by the simulation. And when you see them, you can't help but think that they're just not real. The first two people look like the before me's they give you on the Me channel, on the Wii, like as a template to make your Me, which makes sense because if you think about it, it's definitely a possibility that the world itself is just like one giant Me channel. Um, like some of us make it to the parade and some of us don't. And then the third girl just looks like the protagonist in a bad movie that you're supposed to like, but you actually just find her like really annoying. And the last lady just gives off really strong art teacher vibes, or like she's the definitely the director of a high school drama club. Overall, like when you see them, you just feel like you've seen them before, like so many times. Um, and the website itself was definitely entertaining. It's really easy to get distracted by all the people they're showing you, and definitely after a certain point, it just starts getting creepier and creepier. But I think this website's entertaining because people love to like uh, add on to conspiracy theories and like theorize about people. And this collection of photos definitely like allows for that. And then the next website I went to um, was called spendbillgatesmoney.com. And basically, it just gives you a list of products that you can buy to help him spend his fortune, like sports cars and mansions and yachts. And you have a budget of $100 billion. And I chose to buy Bill Gates 33.3 billion pairs of flip flops because what more could a gal need? And I think that people enjoy this website because we all wish that we had $100 billion to spend on things, and it's fun to like buy whatever you want, kind of, without having to actually worry about like money and just like being able to spend it on random things. And then the next website that the board button took me to was called procatinator.com. And it's basically like randomgoat.com. But instead of showing you different goat related videos, it shows you videos of different cats. And I would say that it's even better than randomgoat.com because each cat video also like has a different like funny song playing in the background. And because of like the music, it's definitely more like entertaining and even more addicting than the goat one. Like I spent way too much time on this, and I haven't even seen like every video. So I would say that it's definitely like good at alleviating boredom because you can spend so much time on it, and not really get bored. And then the seventh one I went to, was called colornames.com, and basically people create like different names for every single possible color on the digital wheel, which there's like almost in like so many different like numbers, and like a ton of them have been named and a ton of them haven't been named yet. um and here I put like some of the fun one of them some of the more funny ones that I saw. um when you For instance, when you see that shade of magenta, it's definitely super alarming that it literally feels like a slap on your face. And that perfect light blue color is definitely like what Shakira's tears look like perfectly blue, like heavenly, pristine. That's absolutely when she cries. That's the color of her tears, without a doubt. Um, the That one art teacher color is definitely the universal vibe of art teachers everywhere. Um, and I would say overall the website's entertaining because of all these ridiculous names you can read through. There's so many of them because there's so many colors. And when you add one, it feels like you're helping like with the greater project, and like a bunch of people like can see it, and you just feel like you're contributing. So that's really enjoyable, and it's pretty entertaining, reading all of them and adding your own. And then I'm just gonna say that the one generic art teacher picture just happens to perfectly match the that one art teacher generic color. And all I am gonna say about this is that whoever did this, they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing with this one, absolutely. Um, and then the next website they took me to, it's called 2020game.io, and for some reason it doesn't let me play the video like over when I'm recording, but basically it goes through the different events of 2020. So you start out at the Australia wildfire fires, and you have to like rescue koala, and then you like have to collect a mask, and you have to dodge the viruses, and then you have to jump over people waiting in line to go get into the grocery store, and you have to get like as much toilet paper as you can. And then you're just running past all these stores that are closed with like boarded up. And then like crashing stocks from the stock market crash start falling on you, and you have to avoid them. And then you go into your house and you get trapped in it, like quarantined, with your pile of toilet paper. And eventually you use up all your toilet paper and then all your tissue boxes. And then, but then after that, they like let you leave, and then you walk past all the nature clearing up, like the smog disappearing, and there's like beautiful mountains in the background, and there's dolphins like diving into the ground. And then you enter a section where they have all these like digital looking speech bubbles, and they're all things like things people say in Zoom, like you're muted, or like you're not sharing, like stuff like that. And you have to jump over those and to avoid falling on like the giant virus things. And then you run into like the frame of a TikTok, and you like film a TikTok, um, to like one of the most generic TikToks, like songs from that time. And then you enter like the flooding like part of it where you're like balancing on top of a car and then like a tree log, and then you see like Biden and Trump just start racing and for like president, and you just like follow them. Um, and then you get the vaccine, like the second is supposed to be like the second wave of COVID, and you have to like collect the vaccine kind of, and then you're vaccinated, and you can like shoot at the giant viruses. It would be way easier to understand this if I could play the video, but And then you finally make it to New Year's and 2020 is over at the end, but then it pans over to 2021 and there's like zombies and dinosaurs like destroying the city. And I thought that the game overall was really enjoyable because it was fun to kind of remember the different things that happened in 2020 and like how much it sucked in like a more lighthearted way. And it was also really like well done, and I could tell that a ton of work went into it. I wish the video would play, but and then again, I'm just saying that there's no doubt these are the same people. They're wearing the same outfit, like this, the hair, it's the same guy. It's the same person. There's no doubt. And then the ninth website I went to was eelslap.com. And literally, it was just slapping this guy in the face with an eel. Like, you go left and then right, and then just keep slapping him in the face with an eel. And after a while, like, I just kind of got bored of it. So it definitely wasn't the most entertaining. It was kind of funny, like, the first couple times. And then I just kind of started feeling bad for the guy I'm smacking in the face with an eel, like, over and over again. So it was entertaining at first. I guess it would depend on the audience, but it didn't keep my attention span going for as long as the other ones did. But there are people like, and honestly, at the beginning, it's kind of fun to like slap somebody with a needle, but I wish there was like more that you could do on that specific website. But there's also like a ton of other ones to spend time on, so it's not like it's not that bad at all. Um, And then the next website I went to was This Cat Does Not Exist, which is basically this person does not exist, but with cats. And I guess that what I take away from this is that when something is popular or funny, they just make a cat version of it that's also funny. Um, and these cats, obviously they look too good to be. They look like fake. They don't look real. But also, they just give me the vibe that they're people like trapped in cat bodies is what they look like. Like this cat looks like Timothy Chalamet, but like only if he's caught off guard. Like he looks like Timothy Chalamet caught off guard. And then this cat looks like Harry Styles when he knows he looks good because he does that smoldering face thing. So if he's like smiling, it doesn't really look like him, but when he knows he looks good, he looks like that cat. Um, this cat looks like Draco from Harry Potter, not the actor, just the character. And then this cat definitely like gives me Ed Sheeran vibes, 100%. And I definitely think it's how they both look through you, not at you, and you just don't know. You have no idea what they're looking at or where they're looking. And then this cat looks just like Kourtney Kardashian when she's silently judging you. It's the same, they're the same person. And then the 11th website that I went to was called salmonofcapistrano.com. And basically, you just move your mouse up and down and left and right, and the salmon just like kind of move with you. This website probably would have been fun, but it ended up being my least favorite because I have like a really weird, irrational fear of salmon and I hate them. And one of them, like in the first picture, as you can see, just got way too close to me. It was traumatizing. Altogether, it just wasn't for me. It wasn't like boring, but it just like was disturbing for me to experience it because I just don't vibe with salmon. I don't know. I hate salmon. And then the last one I went to, so the 12th one, is called Koalas to the Max. And it basically just starts out with this one big gray dot, and then when you hover over it, it just starts dividing into more and more like circles. And then eventually, which is like the bottom image, it gets to the point where there's so many of them that they make like a picture of koalas, which is really cute. So I definitely liked it, and it was like a nice surprise at the end to have a cute picture of koalas, and it was kind of like satisfying to divide all of them too. So I definitely liked that one, even though it wasn't like funny like the other ones were. And then the overall ideas that I'm kind of collecting, or that it's definitely a strange composition, or like peculiar, and it basically like acts as some kind of gateway to like the strangest corners of the internet that you would never go to like on your own will, like just that you would never like encounter unless you were using this application. Um and the websites that I like describe on this, it says there's hundreds of them. These are only 12, so I've definitely, and most of them were definitely entertaining. Like I spent a lot of time on them, so I would say that the board button is definitely like effective in its intended use to alleviate boredom. Um, it's honestly kind of dangerous. Like you could be go on this for like, I feel like I could be on this for like like days straight and still be entertained and not be bored. Um so it's definitely way more entertaining than I remember it being. I think maybe websites have been added since I was using it so long ago. But I would definitely use it again, especially like in a time of boredom. Um, because it really was like a hilarious experience, I would say.